Welcome. Happy Thursday. Hope you're good. Hope you've had a good week. I need to plug in my phone so that my my battery doesn't die. I have my battery is low. Okay, I said it. When I come live, we're going to go straight to the point. So today we're going straight to the point, and we're talking about like checking your eligibility. But I'm going to tell us a quick backstory. Yesterday I posted, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, I don't remember. I made a post about like I was like list of schools in Canada. Like these schools in Canada are paying international students to study. Check if you are eligible. And in the comments, I got many questions like, how do you check your eligibility? So now this brings me to the question I want to ask us. Do you know how to check your eligibility when it comes to applying for scholarships, applying for funding opportunities? Do you know how to check if you are eligible? Yes, no, tell me. So that if we know, I will not bother to explain. I don't want to come here to be telling you what you already know. Let me not waste your time and let me not waste my time too, right? So, how to check your eligibility? Do you know? Tell me. Yes, no. Do you know how to check your eligibility for scholarships or other funding opportunities? So I posted like a list of schools like University of Waterloo, University of Toronto, University of Guelph, Western University, Alberta, Calgary, Manitoba. So I posted a list of all of these schools. Now I'm talking about Canada because I'm referring to the post that I made. And I said check your eligibility because these schools will pay you. Do you know how to check if you are eligible? Okay, I see a few people saying no, they don't. Okay, for people that have responded, thank you, because it's important that I gauge where we are so that I'm not coming here to tell you the things that you already know. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste your data. I don't want to waste my time too. Okay, so now it is very important that you are able to check your eligibility for you to be able to apply for scholarships. You must be able to check your eligibility. Somebody's asking me, can somebody pay you for you to do all of this? I assume that she's saying if somebody can pay me to do scholarship application. No, you cannot pay me to do scholarship application. I say it all the time. Only the scholarship applicants can do scholarship application for themselves. If you think for any reason, maybe you cannot do scholarship application, maybe because you are too busy, you have to create time. If it's for whatever reason you cannot do it, you have to find a way to do it. Otherwise, the other option is for you to pay school fees. So you just get the admission and pay school fees. Okay, yeah. If it's the lack of knowledge, I can teach you. Okay, so now when it comes to applying for scholarships, first of all, you must be able to check your eligibility. So now somebody has given you the link to say, okay, or the name of the school as an example, that this school pays students to study. Check if you are eligible. So the first thing you need to do is to go to that school, go to the website of the school. So even if you don't know the website, I know that sometimes you may not know the website. You can do a quick Google search: University of Manitoba, Canada, University of Waterloo, Canada. Do a quick Google search. The like website, different websites will come out. You know how it is on the internet. But I believe that they've optimized the website such that this school is going to come out first. But I'm going to tell you how to identify a website that is legit. So let's say that let's say you put on your search bar University of Toronto. For the sake of this life, we're going to use University of Toronto as an example. So you Google University of Toronto, then University of Toronto comes out, and you choose the first one on the website that says University of Toronto, universityoftoronto.ca. So you choose that website. Now, one way for you to know that, because a lot of blog posts is going to come out, one way for you to know a legit website is that you will not see ads running all over the place. Ads on the banner ads, the one on the top, the one in the bottom. You will not see all those adverts. So this is one way for you to know like a legit website. So let's say you go to the website, you succeeded in getting to the website. Now, remember, I only talk about people that are going to graduate school. So any opportunities I shared for people going to graduate school, going to do masters or going to do PhD. So keep this in mind. If you are going to do undergraduate, bachelor's degree, sorry, this information I'm sharing will not work for you. So keep this in mind. You're going to do masters, you're going to do PhD. So when you get on that website, you go and look for their graduate programs. So go there, check for graduate programs on their drop down list. You look for graduate programs and choose your course. So let's say this person is going to University of Toronto and is interested in applying for a master's in biology. I'm just assuming. So you go there and you look for your course, biology. Then you go there and you check on the website. It's going to take you to the website of Department of Biology. Now, for graduates, Department of Biology, but you remember you're looking at graduate program. So it's going to take you to the graduate program page of the Department of Biology. So you go there and you check admission requirements. That's one. On that same page, you are also going to see where they say scholarship slash funding. You will see that there's scholarship slash funding. So you want to click on that scholarship slash funding and to tell you what scholarships are, to tell you like maybe there's a list of scholarships that are available, to also tell you on most university websites, research-based programs in most of the schools in Canada. So you're going to do research-based masters or research-based PhD, or PhD rather, all PhDs are research-based. Most of the schools in Canada will provide funding for these programs. So it's going to tell you there when you do scholarship slash funding, it's going to tell you that maybe say everybody admitted into the Masters in Biology program would get funding by the department or by the institution or by the supervisor. It is going to say it there. So now, how do you now know if you are eligible? So now we have now seen it that this program has funding. How do you know if you are eligible? When it says every student admitted into the research master's program, you now have to go back to look at the admissions requirements. It will be on that same page. Look at the admissions requirement and it will tell you if you are eligible. Now, this is when you are looking at Canada. The same thing applies for when you are looking at like the US, the UK, other countries as well. But another thing that you are going to see now, I'm going to talk about people that have second class, lower third class. In some of these schools, you are going to see it in their website where they tell you that these are the requirements, like these are the requirements for you to get admission, but they'll put it there. However, admission can be given at the discretion of the admissions committee. So what this means is that when you see that there, it means that there are no hard and fast rules. So even if you don't meet the requirements in terms of like CGPA as an example, they look at other things, your non-transcript documents. This is very common in like the US. So they look at other things like your non-transcript documents. What do you have in your CV? What have you done in terms of volunteering experience? What have you done in terms of work experience? So they will look at all of these other attributes to you as well. So this is how to check your eligibility. Now, here is the work. Now, I put a list of schools. There are 15 schools on that post. It's a real, I did it 2 days ago. There are 15 schools on that post. Let me now teach you how to search. You have to go school by school. So you go to the first one, University of Toronto. What is the program that you want to do? Remember, I always tell you guys, you should have multiple programs in mind. At least give yourself at least 3 programs. It gives you the opportunity to spread out your options. So you say you want to go and do masters in biology. Go check University of Toronto. Go and see what they talk about, what they say about funding there. You finish from University of Toronto, you go back again, start the process again. Check University of Alberta, you repeat the same process. You go to the next school, University of Waterloo, you repeat the same process. Go to the next school, Western University, you repeat the same process. Now, this is the work. You will not secure scholarship except you do the work. So when I say that you have to put in effort, this is the work. You have to go school by school, check. Now, imagine that you finish doing this in Canada. You will now start with schools in the US. So this is why I tell you that you need to be ready to put in the effort to do this. However, now that I've said this is very easy, this thing is very easy. Once you have a system in place and you know what you are doing, like you can do this search of this number of schools that I've talked about, of these 15 schools. You can do this search and put your information together in 1 hour or less. These 15 universities in Canada that I talked about, you can do it in 1 hour or less if you know exactly what you are doing and how to do it. This is why I always say that it's important that you systematize the process. It makes it easy for you. Remember that I always use this example all the time. If you go to McDonald's, now there are Like in Canada, as an example, there are so many McDonald's locations. In this region where I stay, I think that there are at least maybe 6 to 10 McDonald's locations. If I go to McDonald's in Canada, in fact, let me use countries. I go to McDonald's in Canada. I leave Canada. I go to McDonald's in the US. The taste of the food is the same thing. McDonald's in Canada versus McDonald's in the US. I'll go to McDonald's in UK. It's the same thing. It tastes the same. I go to McDonald's in Australia. It's the same thing. Do you know why? Why do you think that all these McDonald's location, you buy the food tastes the same in all of these locations? Why do you think so? Do you have an idea? Do you have an idea why? Why will I go to all these locations and the food is the same? Exactly, same recipe. Exactly. That's why the food is the same. They use the exact same recipe, and that's why the food is the same. Now, the only reason this recipe in this case is the system that they use, such that anywhere you carry this thing to in the world, as long as you follow that recipe, you will get the same results. This is how applying for scholarships is the same thing. You need to follow a systematic process. And this process has to be one that has been proven to work, not just any process. It has to be proven to work. And let me tell you, when they say something is proven to work, I can do something and it just happens that I get lucky and it clicks. That was luck. When I repeat that same thing that I did before and I do it again, it may not work. I'll repeat it again, it may not work. The first time, it just maybe things just aligned in my favor. But when you talk about a system that works, it means that it is repeatable. You repeat it, it works this time, it works again, it works again, it works again, it works again. And now, when you have a system in place, now the system could be anything. The system could be the procedure or the process at which you do the application. So what it means is that you can now repeat it from one school to another. You can repeat that your system from one program to another. So let's say you decide that, oh, in this school they don't have biology, but I applied for biology, University of Toronto, but University of Water does not have biology. Instead, they have microbiology. I want to apply for microbiology instead. The same system that you use to apply for microbiology, University of Toronto, you can apply that same system to apply for the same system used to apply for biology in University of Toronto. You can apply that same system to apply for microbiology in University of Waterloo. So a system is something that it works regardless of what you are doing. So it is important that you have this system so that you can always have a repeatable process, so you can continue to do, and you see that you'll be able to do your application quick. So the other day I was looking at schools in the US that give funding to international students. And I'm saying this here because there's so many people here that have admissions in their hands and they don't have funding. Some of them will come and tell me that they want me to sell my training for them cheaper because they have admission and they don't have funding. If you have admission and you have checked yourself, you know that you don't have money to pay that school fees. So you have admission that did not come with funding. You have checked yourself, you know that you don't have the money to pay that school fees. You don't have the money. You're as good as somebody that doesn't have admission. There's no difference between the two of you. Now, I was doing some research about schools in the US that give funding because I want to give you guys a list too. So I was doing some research about schools in the US that fund international students. And one thing that I saw as I was doing the research is so they had frequently asked questions. And one of the questions was I've already gotten admission in the same school for a program in the same school. But the admission, I did not apply for the scholarship, or the admission did not come with scholarship. Can I get admission? Can I get scholarship on this already existing admission that I got? The answer, they said no. That once you get admission in that school, you have missed the scholarship for that year for that program. If your admission did not already come with scholarship, that admission you have, you cannot get scholarship on it again. You have to start afresh. So the reason why I'm saying this right now, right here, is because so many people they start their process without funding in mind. Even if they know that they want funding, they say, let me apply for the admission first. When I get the admission, I will figure out funding later. You have already done it the wrong way. For many of you, that admission, you will never get funding for it, even if there was funding existing, because they would normally issue the admission with the funding at the same time, except for certain schools that will tell you specifically, especially when you're applying for graduate assistantship, that after you have gotten admission, only then can you apply for GA. It will be stated on the website of the school. So what I'm saying now is that whatever you are doing, make sure that you are doing it with a plan. You're not just applying for admission because people are applying for admission. You are doing it with a plan. You know that, okay, I know how I'm going to get funding. I have a plan, and this is what I'm going to do. There's some schools in the UK. I was also looking at scholarships in the UK as well, because again, I want us to apply early. So if I have this information, I'm going to share it. Go and apply. If you can apply, go and apply. I want us to apply early. So I was looking at opportunities in the UK as well. And then I also saw that there are some schools in the UK, they require, first of all, get admission into the program first before you can apply for funding. Now, note, the period for admission and the funding period overlaps. So sometimes, and they are giving this admission on a rolling basis. When I say on a rolling basis, as people are applying. So let's say that the deadline is on, like, this is just an assumed date, is on May 30th. But they are giving the admission on a rolling basis. So it means that if you apply now, they will not wait until the deadline to start issuing admission. So if you apply now, you can get your admission letter before May 30th. That's what I'm trying to say when they say they are giving it on a rolling basis. Now, at the same time, the scholarship deadline for application for scholarship, the deadline is like, let's say, May 25th. Remember, even the admission period is longer than the scholarship deadline. So it now means that if you don't already have your admission early, you will still be applying for admission, but the deadline to apply for scholarship has passed. But remember, you need your admission in your hands to be eligible to apply for scholarship. Do you guys understand this thing I just said? If you don't understand, I will explain it again, because this is very important that you get it. This thing I just said now, do you understand? If you don't understand, it's okay. I'm going to explain it again, because it's important that you understand it. Let me know. What I said just now, was it clear? Okay, thank you. Yeah. So this is why it's important. Start early. Start looking. Some people say, there are no scholarships in the UK. I know somebody that got 5 UK scholarships, all full scholarships. She had to choose. So you just start early. If you start early, then you stand a chance to get apply for all of these opportunities. But when you are late, then you cannot. Okay, people start to explain again. Let me explain it again. So I'm going to use an example. Let's use some dates. Deadline to apply for admission deadline is, let's say, May 30th. Deadline to apply for scholarship is May 25th. So scholarship deadline is before admission deadline. Now, but they give the admission on a rolling basis. It means that they will not wait until the deadline before they start issuing admission letters. As people are applying for admission, they are giving them. So somebody that applies on May 1st can get the admission letter, let's say on May 5th, as an example. So they will not wait until the deadline for this to say, okay, this is the deadline. We have stopped receiving admission application before they start issuing offer letters. The reason why some schools will do this is because the deadline to apply for scholarship is before the deadline for admission. But now you need that admission letter to apply for the scholarship. So it means that if you apply early, you get your admission letter early, and then you apply for your scholarship on the 25th. Somebody can come to apply for admission on the 26th. Remember, deadline for scholarship is on the 25th. If I come and say, I want to apply for admission, because the deadline for admission is the 30th, I can still apply for admission on the 25th, on the 26th rather. I can still apply for admission on the 26th. But remember, scholarship deadline was 25th. I missed the scholarship deadline, so I would not be able to apply for scholarship. So I'll be able to get admission in the same program, but I cannot get scholarship because I came late. So when my admission letter comes, it is past the deadline for scholarship. So I'm not eligible to apply for the scholarship. So this is why it is important for you to start early. This happens especially in schools in the UK, because they'll tell you that you, before you are eligible to apply for scholarship, get admission first. Scholarship deadline is before admission deadline. So scholarship will close first before admissions close. So again, you have to, now this is a time for you to start looking at the university website. The best place for you to get information is on the website of the university. It's not what I'm telling you. It's not what anybody is telling you. The best place is on the website, because you get up to date information on the website. Then also check LinkedIn. LinkedIn, sometimes some professors are hiring research students to work in their lab. They'll just go and put a PDF document that is stating what they are looking for, what kind of student they are looking for, and they'll post it on LinkedIn. Sometimes when you go to the departmental website, you will not see it there. Again, you have to search with specific keywords. When you go on LinkedIn, search graduate student biology, scholarship in biology. Make sure that you're checking recent, because sometimes when I check LinkedIn, it's giving me answers, search responses from 3 years ago. There's a drop down list where you can change this and say in the last 1 year, in the last 1 week. When I'm looking for scholarships, I'm looking closer. Last 1 week, last 2 weeks, last 1 month. So you make sure that you're checking up to date information. So LinkedIn is another good place to check, but always check the website of the university, because you would not, and even external scholarships that the school has, you will also find them on the university website. External scholarship as well, they will be there in the university website. So make sure that you are checking, and that you are checking on time. Does scholarship affect your eligibility for PR or ILR? So it depends on the kind of scholarship that you get. Like me, I studied in Canada on scholarship, my master's, my PhD. Before I completed my PhD, I was already a Canadian citizen. So it tells you that it did not affect me. However, there's some specific scholarships that will require you to go back home. It is part of the scholarship requirement. So if you know that you don't want to go back home, you should avoid those kind of scholarship. Like if your plan was to relocate permanently, we're using study as a pathway to relocate permanently to that country, then you should avoid any scholarship that has that clause that you have to go back home after your study. So an example is like the Commonwealth Scholarship. It will require you to go back home. But if you see all this kind of opportunity, like institutional based awards, these are awards that are provided by the university or by a professor that you're working with, those ones don't require you to go back home. Scholarships like graduate assistantship, teaching assistantship, research assistantships, these ones are institutional awards. They don't require you to go back home. It is mostly external scholarships, government scholarships, the ones that they will say government of, let's say, Australia is giving scholarship to low income countries, something like that. If you check all those kind of scholarships, the only reason, especially when they are saying that to low income countries for you to go and advance your country, the only reason why they are training you and they are funding you to go to this school is for you to get the education, get the knowledge, go and use it to make your country better. So all those kind of scholarships will require you to go back home. So it means that even after you finish your study, you cannot even apply for work permits, because the government of these countries, they know, even if you decide, okay, let me just sneak and go apply, they will not catch me. They will flag you. So they know. So it's important. This is why you should learn how to navigate, and you need to understand the process so that you can navigate any of these things. When you see it, you would know. And that thing I also want to point out. Let me give you for one gist. So yesterday I went to Walmart. I went to the store yesterday. Me and Somto, first of all, went to Walmart. As we got into the store, I saw one black lady smiling at me. Of course, now me, I gave her a smile back. So when someone's smiling at me, I'll smile at them back, you know. And then the next thing, she comes close to me and she's like, "Oh, I know you on Instagram. I follow you on Instagram." So at this time, I get excited. I'm like, "Oh, nice to meet you. How are you?" So of course, we started the conversation. Immediately, she just said, "See, I don't want to waste this opportunity. I want to ask you a question." I'm like, "Okay, fine, go ahead." And she started asking me questions about PR. So she came here as an, let me tell you what she did. So she started asking me questions about PR, and she's trying to get her PR. And when she started asking me the questions, and she told me that her points are so low and she doesn't know why her score in the her CRS score is so low, she has not received an invitation to apply. So I said to ask her questions. You have bachelor's degree. Which program did you do here in Canada? She told me years of how many years of work experience do you have? She told me how old are you? She told me. I just told her your problem is your English score. Now, the reason why I know this, that her problem is her English score, even before she told me what her English score is, the reason why I know this is because I have the knowledge. I understand how these things work. So when somebody comes to me with a challenge, even before you give me the whole information, I already have an idea. I've done elimination to eliminate what anything is, and I'm already telling you that this is what the problem is. Once I told her, she now told me what her score is. I'm like, exactly, that's the problem. Bring your phone. Let me show you how to calculate it. Go around, play with this calculator, know what you should get. So I told her the minimum score that is expected of her to get the best scores, like the minimum English test score for her to get the best CRS score based on her profile. By the time we did the calculation inside the store, when we did the calculation in the store, she went from 390 something to 530. If this girl had met me a year ago, if this conversation that we had, if it happened a year ago, this girl would be a permanent resident by now, if we had met 1 year ago. But again, it's not too late, right? So this is another reason why getting knowledge is important, because I see a lot of international students here in Canada. As a result of the lack of knowledge, many of them are floating. How do they transition from international student to permanent resident? What do they do next? So many people are floating. I get messages from people every day. Again, when you have the basic knowledge to be able to navigate through information, you would, again, like I said, it is a system. You'll be able to use that knowledge anywhere. You are going from becoming an international student to permanent resident. You have the knowledge. You know how to, you have a systematic process for you to review your eligibility, do the application, you transfer that knowledge there. It gets to the point where you're now transitioning from permanent resident to citizenship. You will do the same thing. You don't have to go and be looking for people everywhere. If you have questions, ask the questions now. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, put it in the comments. If you are on Instagram, please put your questions in the question mark. Let's take some questions before I leave, okay? Does this application for admission date versus funding scholarship deadline also apply for PhD funding? Yes, it does. And again, it is not a one case fits all. Again, note that it's not a one case fits all. It depends on the school too. So this is why I always say that go and check the website of the school. Don't go and check a blog. Many of you are checking blog, a master's portal, PhD portal. That kind of thing is good to give you general information. But when you have gotten that information, like some people go and check for courses on like master's portal, PhD portal, you can find that, okay, so this school has my course that I want to study. Once you have been able to get that information, go to the website of the school. That is, go there. Go and see what are the deadlines, what are the funding opportunities, what is what. Start taking notes right from now. Right from now, start taking notes. Start putting the deadlines against the school so that you know what you are doing and you are working towards something. You are not caught unawares. The deadline is not there coming to meet you in your face and then you are not ready. So you need to do that. But first of all, you must be able to do research. Start by visiting the website of these universities. So sometimes when I made that post of this school, so people were asking me, can you put what is the eligibility requirement? Like I've already given you the name of the school. Go and Google the school. Go and check the eligibility requirement. Eligibility requirement will even change. Even within the same school, it will change from program to program. Eligibility requirement for like biology may be different from pharmacy, may be different for engineering. Even within engineering, for civil, may be different for chemical, may be different for mechanical. So again, you need to go there to see how does my profile fit in here. You have to go there and check it out. Okay, I don't know if you have talked about the HND securing scholarship or admission. Okay, so this person followed my post today. So for those of us, let me just give us a background story. So I said today that somebody sent me a message that he has been applying for scholarship in Canada for the last 2 years and he has not succeeded. So he's at the verge of giving up. Now, I asked you guys, what do you think the problem is? I didn't need this guy to tell me anything else. Once he told me that, I already knew what the problem is. Now, again, it all boils down to checking eligibility. In Canada, if you want to get a scholarship to study in Canada, now this information applies to only Canada. Only Canada. If you want to get funding to study in Canada, you must be doing a master's or a PhD program. All those postgraduate diploma, postgraduate certificate, they don't have scholarship, they don't have funding. The best you can get is an entrance award, maybe $3,000, and you pay the balance. Let's say your school fees is $20,000, they'll give you entrance award of $3,000. You have to pay $17,000. But you can get full funding to do a master's and a PhD program in Canada. These are the only programs in Canada that you get full funding. Now, we now go back to look at the requirements. What are the eligibility requirements for you to get into these programs? Keep in mind, masters and PhD programs are only done in universities. Only universities in Canada offer masters and PhD programs. Now, that being said, with HND, you cannot go to a university in Canada. It does not apply to the US. You can in the US. In Canada, somebody that has HND cannot go to a university. It means you cannot do a master's, you cannot do a PhD program. And if these are the only programs that have funding, this is the reason why this guy have not been getting funding in Canada, because he's not eligible for the programs he's applying to. So no matter what, even if he has first class, is that what they call it in his HND? I don't know. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Even if he has first class or the highest grade in his HND, he will not get in, because it does not meet the minimum requirement. For you to do a master's in Canada, you must have a bachelor's degree, not HND. Can you do it in the US? In the US, you can even use your HND to get into a PhD program even. In the US, you can get into a master's. So again, this is why I've said that knowledge is important. So you're not wasting your time. So this person, as a result of his lack of knowledge, he has wasted 2 years of his life. Think about the time wasted. Think about the application fees. Think about it. Something that we don't think about, the opportunity cost. You know what opportunity cost is? It's what you are losing as a result of not getting that thing that you want. The opportunity cost. What are the opportunities? What are the things that he has lost as a result of not being able to relocate in the last 2 years? Now, this guy had no chance of success because he was doing the wrong thing. From the beginning, he has failed on arrival. He was doing the wrong thing. So if you have HND, can you secure scholarship? Yes. Can you relocate? Yes. Your best bet, focus on the US. Okay? So I hope that answers our question. Now let's see. We have a lot of questions from Instagram. Okay. What kind of courses are hot cake in Canada? Talking someone in your question is not correct. But again, are there really any courses that are hot cake in Canada? You say that you're looking at like the job market. I want to believe that that's what you're thinking about in relation to getting a job. If you want to know that, I'll just tell you, go and check LinkedIn, check jobs, and go and see like what jobs are in demand right now. That's what you should check. What if the page says open until filled, ongoing, but the application deadline for admission is over? Can we say one has missed the chance already? So the thing is that for this school, so it depends. If you are applying to, on the school website, you will hardly see open until filled. But let's say that a professor says, I am looking for a PhD student to blah, 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 blah. When it says open until filled, now the professor can now interview the student, and let's say he has found the person that he likes. Even if you have missed that application deadline, he will tell you apply for the next session. So in Canada, as an example, they have 3 times you can resume: January, May, and September. So let's say that the September deadline has already passed while the professor is still trying to get the candidates. When he now finds you and decides that, okay, he has picked you, I want to use your name, and he has picked you, Babe Holland Ice, and he has chosen you, he will tell you, submit your application for admission for January, because you have already missed September, so you are submitting for the next time. So that's what they mean when they say the position is open until filled. Because sometimes you see the way you are looking for funding, it's the same way these professors are looking for good students to fund. How do you show that you are a good student? is by the way you package your application. This is why it's important. Application packaging, very important. That's the only way you can show somebody that you are a good student and you are a worthy investment, that you are worth investing. The way you present yourself. How do you present yourself? Is your application, your CV, your cover letter, the email you are sending to this person. How do you present yourself? That is what is important. So let's see. What is the opening time for the scholarships? Please go and check the website of the school. We just said that. Check the website of the school. How about people with HND? How do we check information? I've told you, focus on the US. Go and check schools in the US. You have HND, focus on schools in the US. Maybe I can try to provide more information, like provide a list. I don't know when I will have that, but focus on schools in the US. HND can apply for straight masters in Canada. I'm aware it depends on the school. There's no school in Canada where HND can apply for masters. If you have the school, please, the bunker, share it with me. Let me update my information. But I know there's no school in Canada that takes HND for masters. HND, you go and apply for postgraduate diploma or postgraduate certificate. But again, maybe it has changed. I'm not aware. So the bunker, if you have the school, the name of the school, share it with me. Thank you. Someone with third class with CGPA of 2.36, can that person apply for masters in Canada? You have third class, be looking at schools in the US. If you want to go to Canada with your third class, apply for. You said that money is not your problem, so apply to colleges. Go and do a postgraduate diploma, a postgraduate certificate. You will get into Canada. Okay. So again, this is what I talk when I talk about strategy. You need to be strategic. If you have third class, you should be looking at the US. So this is when we talk about strategy. So even if you want to come to Canada after you are finished doing your masters in the US, you can now come to Canada using other pathways, because then you have now upgraded, you have built international value. You are now more valuable than the person that you were when you were applying from your home country. So do that, and then you can come to Canada. Can HND apply for postgraduate diploma in Canada? Yes. So if you have HND and you want to study in Canada, you can apply for either postgraduate diploma and postgraduate or postgraduate graduate certificate. So some universities offer this program, and colleges. So mostly colleges, but a few universities offer postgraduate diploma and postgraduate certificate. You can get in there if you have HND. Okay. Okay, so I think that I've taken our questions here, and I understand that it could be challenging to navigate this process. But one thing that I know for sure is that if you have a system, if you have a blueprint, if you have somebody that tells you after you do A, you do B. When you do B, you do C. If you do C and it doesn't work, go back and start from A. If you have that, I tell you that it will make things way easier for you, and you will see how fast you'll be able to implement what you need to implement so that you can relocate fast. And this is what you would learn in the study abroad crash course. Very soon, we're almost at the day for the crash course, and we're going to stop selling the slots soon, because it's a live class. It's a live class. So send me a message now for you to sign up, just so you not be left behind. We're going into admission application season. You don't want the application season to come and pass you by and you have not done anything just because of the lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge should not be your problem, because you can learn, you can get the knowledge. Just invest in yourself, invest in knowledge. Now I've given you some information. You can go ahead, go and start your research, go and do what you want to do based on that. But then again, even after you have been able to check your eligibility, submitting competitive application is another case completely. You must know how to prepare application package that is deserving of the scholarship. Remember, you're not the only one applying. It's not only people from your country that are applying. It's a global competition. You must be able to compete on a global scale. As you are right now, you can, but you need, like, you have what it takes already. You just need to package that thing that you already have so that it looks desirable. You want to make sure that you present yourself as a desirable candidate. You would learn how to do that in the study abroad crash course. Send me a message for you to sign up. I've had 0.0/4 all through, but my final testimonial says second class lower on my application. I've been seen anticipating upper second class. Is this a problem? I don't know what you mean by anticipating upper second class. But in Canada, they will tell you that you need to have, some schools will say you need to have, is either between 60 to 75%, depends on the program. So some schools say 60%, some schools say 65, some schools 70, some schools 75, depends on the program. In your last 2 years of study, some of them will say in your last 60 credits. Last 60 credits is your last 2 years of study. So for if you have done a 4 year course, you are looking at your third year and your fourth year. What is your CGPA? So some people, even if they have an overall second class lower, if you check their last 2 years of study, some of them have second class upper, maybe their CGPA is 70 something. So you're looking at your CGPA in the last 2 years of your study. So this is another thing. You must also know how to calculate your CGPA. Because for some schools, I've seen some transcripts. They don't give you your CGPA based on years. They just give you your total CGPA for all of your 4 years or all of your 5 years. So you must be able to calculate your individual CGPA in each of those years so that you can tell what your CGPA in your last 2 years of study is. So if you've done a 4 year course, your CGPA in your last 2 years of study is your third year and your fourth year. If you've done a 5 year course, your CGPA in your last 2 years of study is your fourth year and your fifth year. For me, as an example, my CGPA in my total CGPA from Uniben was 3.96/5. But my CGPA in my last 2 years of study was 4.25/5. When I was doing my application, what I quoted was 4.25 because they asked me for my CGPA in my last 2 years of study. Does this make sense? So now you need to go inside that your transcript, go and look at it. Go, like, you have to, all these things, you have to learn it. You have to learn all these things, really. And you learn all of them in the crash course. How do I sign up for the crash course? Send me a message and I'll send you the link. I have the link in my bio, but I have 2 links there. So you can either use the link in my bio. If you're joining us on Facebook or on YouTube, please just send me a message. I can even post the link here. Let me share the link here for people that are joining us on YouTube here. So I see some people joining us on YouTube. I'll share the link with you guys. For those of you joining us on YouTube and Facebook, I'm going to share the link there. But if you're joining us on like Instagram, if you're joining us on Instagram, just send me a DM. It's a paid training. Okay. So yeah, and I'll be happy to share with you the link or whatever it is that you need. Okay, so that's all that I have for today. If you have any question that we have not answered here, feel free to send me a message. But remember, if the question you're asking me something that I teach in my crash course, I'm going to refer you there to go and buy the course. If it's something that out of the crash course, but it's something that I can answer for you and I have all the information, I'm going to tell you to to go and book a consultation. Consultation is paid. I'm not here doing free brain picking because many people are beginning to take advantage of it. You saw that I posted something. I was really upset this morning at the way that person behaved. But yeah, it's one of those things. Okay. So you guys take care, and I would see you guys next time. Come and sign up for the Study Abroad Crash Course. Do not miss this opportunity. Somebody say, I graduated from uni with BS in biology, but finding it hard to decide what to further on. You're going to learn how to choose a program of best fit in the Study Abroad Crash Course. This is very important. Now, the reason why this is important, I'm going to explain this, is that many people, they set themselves up for failure by choosing programs that, as they are, they cannot compete in because there are other people that have stronger profiles than them. Hi, Ejiro. There are other people that have stronger profiles than them. So this is why it's important to leverage what you have and choose a program of best fit based on your profile and based on your future goals. This is an entire model, and you are going to be learning it in the Study Abroad Crash Course, how to choose a program of best fit. Because some people, even when they get away, they're able to get away with it when they're applying for admission. But at the end of the day, when it gets to the point of applying for visa, sometimes visa officer will deny them because they'll tell you that this program is not a reasonable expense. Even if you are getting a scholarship, you got a scholarship, it's not a reasonable expense because they think that you're wasting your time. Okay. They think that you're wasting your time. So they tell you it's not a reasonable expense. So because they don't want you to waste your time, they will just not give you the visa. And you don't want that to happen to you. That happened to a lot of people. Learn from people's experiences. Okay. Does scholarship applications precede general admission offers? What time is the best time appropriate for scholarship application? So again, like I said, it depends on the school, on the country. So this is why doing research is going to give you this information. So it depends on what you're applying to, what program, what school, what country. Okay. But for many schools, you may have to apply for the scholarship before you apply for admission or at the same time that you're applying for your admission for many schools. For many of the schools, okay? But you're going to learn more in the crash course. You signed up for the study abroad crash course, so don't worry, we're breaking it down for you. This person asked this question has already registered. I know his name. Okay, so you guys take care, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see you next time when I come live. Bye. Someone say I see my sibling getting full scholarship through your mentorship. Of course, we're going to help your sibling. All right, you guys take care. Bye. Angela, I'm going to drop my email address here. Angela Laposi, send me an email. Please copy it now so that because when I end this live session, it may vanish. So Angela Lapasi, send me a message, okay? All right, you guys, take care. Yeah, princess, me too. I can't wait. Take care. Bye. I'll see you next time.